Huey Lewis came about, connecting the dots. Matt Frawley used to do merchandise for Real Big Fish years ago. And so I knew Matt. Matt ended up becoming Huey Lewis's tour manager. And for the past few years, when I started the podcast, I would hit Matt up. He was one of the, I'm like, dude, if you could ever get me Huey, I'd be indebted. And he said, I would love to get him on and pass it along, but I don't know if Huey's ever going to do anything anymore. He's got a problem called Meniere's disease, and it's a severe tinnitus. He doesn't know if he'll ever perform again. Now, I didn't get into it on my show because I like to stay on topic. It's not an interview. Right. I figured if he would have brought it up, he could talk about it, but I wasn't going to bring it up. It had nothing to do with the song. Why talk about it? But he's been suffering from Meniere's disease, and I hadn't talked to Matt in a long time, and it was right around Christmas of this past year, a month ago. Open up Facebook one day and Matt says, I got Huey for you, man. He wants to do it next week. And I just was like total starstruck. And you want to talk about, I couldn't sleep the night before, man. I was so, and then the morning of, all those emotions started to happen to me of riding in the back of my dad's car, who I'm really close to. My dad's my best friend. My dad and mom were musicians, and they were always supportive, and music was a thing in my house. But I got up that morning and I'm going back in my mind to driving into the Little League games, listening to sports on cassette with my dad in the car, cranking it, and my dad is suffering from Parkinson's disease. He's in the later stages now. He's having a really rough time. And all these emotions, man, and like the clock's ticking. I'm like, I got Huey in an hour, and it's clock, and I got all my notes. I'm prepared, and then there he is on Zoom, and I'm taking deep breaths and I'm trying to compose myself. And at the same time, through all of it, I realized the hilarity of it all. I'm just some suburban kid that loved music, that ended up doing all this stuff that you and I have been talking about the last hour. And here I am, I'm interviewing Huey. Are you kidding me? Like, what's going on? I was like a kid in a candy store, man. And that's such a great feeling to still have, because I've been jaded in this business before. Right. I've been pissed off in this business. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to deal with it. And when I have moments like that, it makes me realize why I still do it.
Yeah, man, I agree with you through doing this and stuff and meeting people like yourself and everybody. We've crossed paths with everybody. We've never actually sat down and had a conversation, but we've rubbed elbows with the exact same people. Obviously, like it's what is it, like 2 degrees separate from each other in fucking 500 different directions. But so to your point, like getting to talk to people, like sometimes it's someone's coming on that, to your point, that's like legendary, and I'm like, oh fuck, like this is why I'm doing this, because this is so much fun for me. Like it's obviously it's not like this whole business money making kind of thing. This is just fucking fun to do, right? Yeah,
I mean, probably to my initial base of listeners, Mark Hoppus is a way bigger get and a way bigger thing than Huey Lewis, but Mark's my buddy. I've known Mark for 25 years. You know, right. It was kind of like you and I talking. It was like, oh, I got Mark today. It wasn't a big deal, but Huey, it was next level, man. I'd never met the guy. I had heard through the grapevine that he could be difficult. I've heard he's a sweetheart, and I got him on a good day, I guess. So.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that, because you talked about being jaded too. You never know sometimes, right? Sometimes you meet your heroes. That's why the adage is there: never meet your heroes. It's like. Yeah. Because some of them can be assholes, and and I've always felt, and I don't know about you, I've always felt it's like, well, anyone can be an asshole on a given day. Like it's just, and sometimes those stories get ran with for a long time because of it.
I've said that, I've had people, I've seen it online, like, I talked to the bass player, he was super cool, but Chris was a dick. And it's like, okay, well, maybe I walked out the back door of the club that night and I had strep throat and I just was trying to get to the bus and they wanted an autograph. And I said, maybe not an autograph, I always try, but maybe they wanted to chat or something and I couldn't do it, and I'm human.
Or I'm maybe, to say no. Well, here's the other thing too. A lot of people will say like, oh, well, he didn't say anything. He's like, well, did you say anything? Like, no. Well, so he's just supposed to walk up and be like, yeah, let me tell you who I am and why you should care. Like, that's not real life.
and most of my experiences with that stuff have been really good, but other times it's, you'll get drunk guys that want to get a rise out of you, and that's their whole motive for the night. And
that's why I started the podcast. I'm a drunk guy trying to get a rise out of you.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.